Kevin Belton. Fall is soup time, and we're serving up a chowder that's going to be a staple at your fall feast. JP and I are stirring up a meat, cheesy, and potato chowder this morning on Good to Eat.
Fall has arrived, and that means it's soup gumbo time. And if you love cheese and chowder, you've come to the right place. Super South Louisiana chef Kevin Belton joins us with some chowder power. How are you doing?
I know you love a good soup.
Oh, man. Soups, gumbo, this is the time.
Hopefully, gang, this will bring us to cooler weather.
I like it. Man, let's do it.
So, I took some ground meat.
Yes.
Okay, and what's nice is, you know, depending on how you cook at home, whether you're using ground meat, ground turkey, hey, if you're a vegetarian and they have the soy products, brown it off in the pan first. And here, I've taken the ground meat out, and what we put in carrots. But if you notice, I'm using different colored carrots.
Oh, it's pretty.
We have a little bit of onion in there.
Look at that.
We have a little bit of celery in there. And you notice how some of it's a little brown?
Yeah.
Because we let those vegetables caramelize in the bottom of the pan.
That's the key. Yeah.
Exactly. So look, let's go in with a little basil, a little fresh parsley. You want to give that a stir for me if you don't mind?
He'll put me to work here.
Exactly. Let's get in some Yukon Gold potatoes.
Solid gold.
Solid gold. Now, here's what's nice with those potatoes. Okay. With those potatoes, they're going to cook to get nice and tender. So we'll get in some chicken stock. And you can do chicken stock, beef stock, whatever you have. If you have a beer around or whatever.
just throw it in the pot.
Just throw it in the pot.
I love it.
Because what we want, we need to put a lid on this. We're going to get these potatoes to get nice and tender. And it's all about flavors. It's all about flavors. So that stock is going to get those little brown pieces up off the bottom of the pan. And you know what we're going to add to this in just a bit? We're going to add a little bit of a roux to it.
Roux? You're going to show us how to make a roux.
We're going to roux the day, baby.
He's the king of roux and stews, and you see it right here. You can get all of Chef Kevin's tune-in recipes at the Good to Eat page at WBRZ.com. Well, coming up, our chowder's almost ready. We'll serve it up next on Tune In. Soup season is here, and we're kicking it off with a cheesy meat and potato chowder. It's a Good to Eat recipe from South Louisiana super chef Kevin Belton. How's that chowder looking?
I tell you what, it's looking good. We're letting our potatoes cook. But like most good Louisianians, we're going to make a little bit of a roux to help tighten our soup.
He's the king of roux. Now, he's going to show us his secret to making the absolute best roux.
Well, you know, the secret to roux, to me, equal amounts flour and butter or flour and oil. Here, we want this to thicken. So all we're going to do is, you notice I melted the butter, but I let it brown ever so slightly. You know, you don't want butter to burn. It's the solids in it, gang. That's what'll brown off. Look, let's get this flour in. And since we don't want this we want this as a thickener, we're going to cook it till it really changes colors. Because we want this to go ahead and be a thickener for us to give some body to our soup. Now, I know like on staff we have a few folks that are gluten-free.
Yep.
They can't have gluten. Gang, if you don't want to use a roux, remember we have potatoes in here. Once these potatoes cook, gang, take a potato masher, mash them up, or
the same
take
effect
a stick blender.
Same effect.
Puree it with a stick blender. That way you eliminate the roux, but you still get that body. Does that kind of make sense?
There you go.
So we're going to this, add a little bit of milk. This is going to, you know, just like any good roux, it has to come together. You know, most of the times, folks that don't live in Louisiana, when they make a roux, they put the liquid in, all of a sudden, like it's lumping up. Well, just let it heat up. It'll smooth itself out.
Yeah, that's what you call a Yankee roux.
Yeah, but they just have to give it time to smooth itself out.
Yeah.
So look how that's smooth and coming together. So we're going to let this heat up. We're going to let this smooth out. If we want, we could add a little seasoning in here. But we have some seasoning in here, which is fine. But we're going to add this in to here. We'll get our meat back in. And guess what? You know it'll be time then, huh? We'll start working on dessert.
Ooh, and you've got one. You've got a dessert. I think everybody's going to love this dessert. Hey, we got the roux. The chowder's almost ready. We are cooking with Chef Kevin, and man, it's almost ready to go. It's fall. It's time for soup and chowder. We've got it on Good to Eat right here. You can get all of Chef Kevin's tune-in recipes at the Good to Eat page at WBRZ.com. Well, you know, it's not only soup season, it's also cobbler season. Chef Kevin's got a neat take on a cobbler coming up next on Good to Eat. Don't miss it. We'll serve it up. Coming up on Tune-In. Really good. Fall menus not only include soups and gumbos, but also cobbler for dessert. And today, Chef Kevin's got a sweet take on a different cobbler. Chef Kevin Belton joins us again with something good to eat. The chowder's looking really good.
Yes, yes.
Now, what's for dessert?
Come on, cool weather.
Yeah. All right. This is another cool weather dessert.
Milk, vanilla, and sugar. Whisk that together. I have flour, cinnamon, baking powder.
I can smell the cinnamon.
All right. We're just gonna, this is such a nice, quick dessert. I always try to do things where you can get the kids involved.
They would absolutely love that.
This is one of those things.
Tell them the name of this cobbler.
Snickerdoodle cobbler.
Snickerdoodle.
Snickerdoodle. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? Now, what I did, I have the oven on 350. I took 6 tablespoons of butter. Oh, look at that. Can you believe I'm making a mess? You know, don't laugh. Don't laugh. I can't help but clean as I go.
If my wife Jackie was here, she would think I was the one who did that.
I grew up watching mother and grandmother cook, so I can't help but clean as I go. I couldn't leave that mess there. I hope some of you all can relate to that, okay? So, 6 tablespoons of butter in the pan, okay? I just set it in the oven so it wouldn't melt. So now we're gonna take our batter, and we really don't have to mix this in. We just wanna try to go ahead and get this right over that butter. Don't worry about stirring it in. And you see that hot water there, JP?
Yeah.
What we're going to do is take, you know, sometimes they used to make hot water bread. You hear a hot water cobbler sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're doing. We are going to take this, just kind of spread it out a little bit. Light sugar, dark brown sugar, all right? Spread that over the top. We're going to grab this hot water and pour it right over the top. And this is going to go in the oven and bake 350 degrees, 30 to 35 minutes. What this hot water does, it activates that baking powder.
And then you got your snickerdoodle cobbler.
There you go.
How easy was that?
Exactly. If I could do it, the kids can too.
I could do it too, I think. You can get that snickerdoodle cobbler recipe at the Good to Eat page at WBRZ.com. Look at this. We just pulled it out of the oven. Now it's time for the taste test. Coming up, we're going to serve up all the recipes that we cooked today for our fall feast. That's coming up next on Good to Eat. Tuning continues right after this. Our fall feast is set, and joining us to do the honors, the king of the tune-in crew of Rue. Here he is, Chef Kevin Belton. This was so easy.
You know, that's the trick, is the more that simply you make it, the more time you get to visit and hang out with the family.
And of course, this is soup gumbo weather, and you've got some chowder power with this.
I almost put on a sweater to make this, wishing the cooler weather down. You know, I almost put on a hoodie, put on a sweatshirt, something to bring the cooler weather down. But this is one of those dishes where we use the tricolor carrots, we use the onion, and sometimes I'll do red onion with it, and the celery. You know, saute that baby down, saute that ground meat, where we could use ground turkey or ground chicken, or even the tofu products, the soy products. We can do the ground soy in this if we want. And you know what? Nobody would ever know.
They'd never know. And the thing about this is you made a quick roux, really just to kind of bring it all together. It's not one of those long roux.
No, just that blonde roux, just enough to give it some body. And we finish it off with a little bit of, we had the milk in the roux, and then we finish it off with a little white cheddar cheese down.
Yeah, and you know, the holidays are coming up. It's a time when families get together. It's a time for kids.
Yes.
You've got the perfect dessert to get the kids involved.
And you know what's great about this? This is nice, and we had it out of the oven. It's cooled a little bit, but you throw some vanilla ice cream on top of that. Yeah.
We got to get a taste of this. This is snickerdoodle cobbler. You ready?
Okay. I'm done. I'm done for the day. That's it.
How easy was that?
I tell you what, I'll see y'all later. You talk to them, I'm going to get some ice cream.
He's right. This is, man, I'm going to get enough. He doesn't see me doing this.
Hey, leave me some!
For all of Chef Kevin's tune-in recipes, head to the Good to Eat page at WBRZ.com. That's good to eat at WBRZ.com. Dinner is served. Serve these dishes at your next family feast and you'll be a hit. Stay with us. Tune-in continues right after this. Got to get snickerdoodle cobbler. That's the ticket.